Back now live on the Gulf of Mexico. We are on Hercules 201. This is a shallow water rig. In fact, we're going to throw up a map here so you can get a sense of where we are. We flew into Houston, then we took about a 2-hour drive to Sulphur, Louisiana, spent the night there. Then you take about a 1-hour drive to Cameron, Louisiana, where you hop on what's called a supply boat, and then you take about an hour boat drive out here to the rig, which is 3.5 miles offshore. So clearly we have a situation where we are way out here, but we are on the story of the shallow water drillers. And I wanted to introduce you to one of them. He's Lee Tilton, and he's the guy who deals with the so-called mud. You remember hearing about the mud during the BP spill in the deep water drillers. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us what you do every day if your rig were not idle, which it is right now.
Well, basically what I do is I build and maintain drilling and completion fluids for maintaining the well.
When the BP spill disaster unfolded, how closely were you watching what happened?
I was watching it pretty closely. It devastated us all.
What do you do here as far as safety precautions are concerned?
Our policy is in place, and we do things on a daily basis. Our safety meetings, we have drills that we practice. There's plenty of things that we do. We watch each other. We have a hero conversation in place, and what we do with that, we have tools that we use to help each other out, and we just talk to each other about it, things that concern one another, and just basically watch each other's backs.
Something that I wanted to point out to our viewers, and that is what John Rinn, the CEO, was talking about as far as a team feeling is concerned. It's almost like a football team that's worked together for several years. That's why it's very hard for him to lay people off, because if you have to bring new people in and train them, you guys are already a so-called well-oiled machine.
Yes, we're basically like a family out here. We are close-knit. A lot of us been working together for quite a few years, you know, and you stick with somebody for 14 days at a time, you become your family, you know.
Vernon, how often do you update your safety education? One of the big criticisms as far as the deep water guys were concerned was that, you know what, they had these so-called emergency plans that were almost laughable, you know, with telephone numbers that hooked up to the emergency guys who weren't even alive anymore. You know, tell us about your safety issue.
Well, we have weekly safety meetings that we discuss everything that any type of HSD thing that comes out that's new. We discuss it in our safety meetings every.
What's that HSD?
Health, safety, and environmental. We take and we discuss any problems that come about, any incidents that happens in the industry within our company. We discuss those incidents and look at better ways of, you know, risk assessment. Basically, we have permits to work in place and different tools, like I said before, with our HSD policy that is set into place to keep us all working safely.
Only 6 permits have been approved since the BP spill. You can't run a business like that, at least here in the Gulf of Mexico, can you? What needs to happen?
They need to, the people that's making these decisions, I feel that they really need to take the time and become more educated about the difference between deep water and shallow water divisions. There is a lot of differences. Yes, we're all out here drilling for oil and gas, but the divisions, there's differences between us, and they have to understand that they're not only affecting an industry as a whole, but the individuals that are working here in the Gulf, that's part of this, you know, these companies and all. This is our livelihood. This is our life.
Okay, let's say worst case scenario, you get laid off. Would you go overseas?
Me as a dairy can, they really don't take dairy cans overseas, so I would have to start over. I'd be looking for something on land. You know, I don't know. That's just, if that time comes, I'll just have to do what I have to do then.
Is that a possibility? Do you think about that?
Well, as Mr. Rand said earlier, you know, that they're sticking with us. They're standing behind us until the first of the year, and then they'll reevaluate. I'm confident in this company. They've been good to us. They've been fair. They treat us well. They keep us well informed. So I'm very pleased with what they're doing and everything that they're doing and how they're keeping up with us and taking care of us. I'm real confident in them. I believe we'll pull through this.
Do you understand the gang in Washington? They want to keep things safe. They're trying to proceed in a different way than in the past.
Yeah, I understand their concerns and all, but as I said earlier, they do need to realize and become a little more knowledgeable, I feel, about what's going on and educate themselves with the differences between deep water and shallow water. And, you know, our record stands for itself.
I asked this of Darla in a different form. I said, if you could talk to the president, what would you say? And I'd like to ask you the same question.
Really and truly, I'd like for him to come out here and see how it really is firsthand. Step on a rig, come visit us, come talk to us, walk around with us, see what we really do. take the time out to really look and evaluate the situation before making any decisions that was going to ultimately affect the people that work for these companies.
Mr. President, Vernon Tilton, a derrick hand here on Hercules 201, is inviting you to come be on this rig and see how they operate, and I bet they'd really appreciate it. In any event, we'll be continuing our conversation here live from the Hercules rig. Now, we came here because we felt that this was definitely a story that wasn't being told. You know, every state is really struggling right now due to budget problems and lack of tax revenues. Louisiana is no different. Coming up, the Louisiana State Treasurer. He is a magna cum laude graduate of Vanderbilt. He's an Oxford graduate as well, and if he's having trouble about this, you know it's a big problem. Stay tuned, much more ahead, live from the Gulf of Mexico.